So laying on your back, just settling into your body for now. Nothing to do, just be with your natural breath. Then just start to settle into your breath and allow your belly to soften and notice the rise and fall of your natural breath. Bring your awareness to the inhalations and the exhalations. Start to notice any sensations in your body. Maybe do like a little body scan and just notice if there are any areas that need extra attention. And I apologize in advance for the loud noises outside. I can't help it. I'm on a main street, so. Okay. And then just start to deepen the breath so that your exhalations can maybe start to be longer than the inhalations. That will kick in your parasympathetic nervous system and just bring you into a relaxed state a lot quicker. And you can do that by counting or just by feel. Usually we can feel our breath. Let go of the day and just keep everything now in your little space, just within your body, in the little room that you're in and on your mat. And we'll start to shut everything else away or down or however you want to do it. And since you're already on your back, that's actually how we're going to start tonight. So we've done this one before, and this is Apanasana. And we're going to do it just slightly different this time, where we're going to bring one leg in first. And you can place your hand on your knee, so you can bring in, we can start with the right leg. And then as you exhale, you bring the knee in towards you. And as you inhale, the knee goes out. And then just until the thigh bone becomes perpendicular to the floor. So we'll do that a few times. So the exhale is bringing it in and the inhale is pushing it away. And you're not really using too much of your own strength. You're really just using the leg and the hands on top of the knee, or just kind of a guide. And usually by the time your arm is straight is when the thigh bone is perpendicular, depending on the length of your arms, of course. But we'll just go back and forth like this a few times. And I also want you to go at your own pace with your own breath, because your breath may not be the same as mine. So you inhale and the knee moves away from you. And as you exhale, the knee comes in close to the chest. Like I said, at your own pace. Do this a few times. Well, you've already done this a few times. And we will switch legs. We'll switch legs too. So this time let's bring the left knee in. And then as you inhale, you can move the knee out. And you don't have to use both hands. You can just use one. And again, whatever pace you choose is up to you. Slow is fine, slower is fine. It's a very easy movement, and it gives a nice gentle stretch in the lower back. And then release the left leg, and with both feet flat on the mat, inhale. And as you exhale, bring both knees in. And you can place your hands on each knee, and we'll go back and forth with both legs a few times. Inhaling, and the knees move away from you, and exhaling, the knees come in towards the chest. We'll go back and forth at whatever pace feels good for you. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll bring the feet back to the mat. And then from here, so we're going to do a few bridge poses, but instead of doing bridge and holding it, we're actually going to come into a little bit of a flow, and we're going to synchronize breath with movement. So with the knees bent and the feet a little bit in closer to your hips, as you inhale, we're going to press the pelvis up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're going to come back down, but we're only going to uncurl the spine from the top to the bottom. So we're lowering it one vertebrae at a time. So you will have to slow the exhale down a little bit. And then again, pressing up as you inhale. And coming back down one vertebrae at a time as you exhale. Inhale up. And exhale, unraveling the spine. So I'm going to be saying inhale and exhale, but again, you don't have to match with me. And I can't see you because it's not safe to turn your head in bridge pose. So I'm not going to be looking at the screen. But we'll just keep going together, inhaling up and then exhaling and uncurling the spine. And wherever you're at, on your next inhale, as you're pressing up, lift the arms up and over, keeping them straight. So now they're above your head. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the arms back up and over, and they'll land on the mat just as the sacrum does as well. So we'll do that a few times, pressing the hips up and then taking the arms up and overhead. And then exhaling, uncurling the spine, and lifting the arms back up and over until the hands become flat on the mat. And go back and forth. Again, at whatever pace your breath is. We'll do 2 more after this. And at the end of the second one, you're going to bring your hands together and just lift up slightly, and the hands come between the thighs. And then slowly lower again. Take one of your blocks, lift the hips up off the mat, and bring your block right underneath your sacrum. And then we'll take the left leg out so that it's straight, and we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. And if you can clasp your hands around the shin, go for it. You don't have to. It's just, one way to bring that knee in, and just breathe here. And hopefully you'll feel this in the front of the left hip. And what we're doing here is releasing the psoas on the right side and stretching the psoas on the left side. Yeah, it's right underneath the sacrum, which is like a triangular shaped bone at the lower back. And you'll note because it feels comfortable and secure.
Okay, so like a little bit close, a little bit more up.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I can feel the bone on the block. As long as your bone feels comfortable on the block and you don't feel like, what?
Yeah, I think I had it more under my butt.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's how you know. If it feels weird, you might have to adjust. It should feel really comfortable. Are you okay now? Yeah. Okay. All right, good. It should feel secure. And then let's release this side and go ahead and take the next. And if you have to adjust it, you can. Don't feel like you can't pause and just shift things around again until you're more comfortable. Over time, you'll be so used to it that you'll know exactly where to put the block. And then from here, we're just breathing full and deep, and notice again any of the sensations that might be happening. I feel it definitely on my right side stronger than my left. So you might notice one side is a little bit tighter than the other. And that's normal. Most people have, regardless of the body part, most people have one side a little more flexible or tighter than the other. Just maintaining the full deep breaths. And then slowly releasing that leg too. Bring both feet to the mat. Press up to remove the block. And then we're going to roll over to the side and then get up more comfortably that way. And we're going to shift to hands and knees. So if you need to put a blanket under your knees, go for it. Sometimes we need padding. I definitely do in my older age. I'm not ashamed. It's all about our practice being comfortable and working for us. Right. So on hands and knees, we're going to do a version of cat-cow that's a little bit different. So I'll do one round, and then you can go ahead and jump in. So this version, the hands are going to come out a little bit further than regular tabletop, but you're going to lift, I can't talk. You're going to lead with the head and the chest, and we're going to inhale, and you're going to scoop up so that the belly drops like we normally do in cow pose. And then as you exhale, you're going to start with the abdomen and start to bring everything in, rounding the spine, and then moving back into a child's pose. And then again, as you inhale, we're going to start to come up, leading with the head, with the chin and the chest. And then as we exhale, rounding the back again and coming back into a child's pose. So we'll go back and forth like this a few times. Do you like it? Yeah, this is a good one. And again, go at your own pace. And it depends on the day. Some days it might feel better to go a little bit faster. Some days it might feel better to go a lot slower. So we're going to do 6 rounds altogether, and I started before you, so you probably have about 4 left. And as you're doing it, just try to articulate the movement. In other words, just bringing the awareness into all of the muscles as you're doing this. Which muscles are engaging, which ones are stretching. As you roll the head forward, notice the spine curving and rounding of the back. And all of the little abdominal muscles that kick in order for you to do that. And then when you finish with your 6, we'll meet sitting on heels, and that's how I'll know that you're ready. All set? Okay, the next one I'm going to have to show you as well, and then you can do it. This one's really easy too. They're all easy. None of these are hard. So we start here. And as we inhale, the arms come out to the sides and then forward and up, and you reach up. And then as you exhale, again, starting with the abdominals, we're going to bring everything in. The arms come back around the sides, landing on the lower back, and the forehead comes all the way to the mat. And then again, as you inhale, the arms come out to the sides, around and up. And exhaling, everything folds back in. So jump on in when you're ready. And we'll do 6 of these as well. Take your time. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So if you're going to start from here, then we're going to inhale up this way. And then as you exhale, we're going to come down and fold right back up. I always think of this particular one like a little flower blooming. So it's like the flower just kind of comes up and opens up to the sun. And then it starts to close up. Maybe like one of those night flowers or day flowers or whatever those short-term ones are. I don't know why that is what pops in my head, but it is, so. It's all good. Any imagery that comes to you is fine. So we call this Vajrasana. It's a type of, a version of hero's pose. So I haven't kept track of you, and whenever you're finished, let me know. I wasn't counting.
I think it's that.
Okay. It's cool. We're informal around here. Let me get this out of the way too. And then we're going to come forward onto our bellies. This one, you're going to bring your forehead to the mat. And then the hands are going to be right next to the ribs. So your elbows are out behind you and your arms are by your sides. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift the head and chest up. But you're not really pressing with your hands. Your hands are just keeping you steady. And then as you exhale, you bring the forehead back down. And then again, as you inhale, just the head and chest. And as you exhale, lower. Inhale up one more time. And then exhale and lower. This time, take the feet a bit wider. And then we'll do 3 more. So we'll inhale, head and chest lifts up off the mat, and then we exhale and lower. Inhaling up, and then exhaling and lowering. Inhaling up again. I'm sure you can feel this in your back muscles by now, and exhaling and lowering. And then take the feet even wider. So now they're wider than your shoulders. And we're going to do 3 more. So inhaling everything up. And then exhaling and lowering the forehead. Inhaling up. The legs are engaged, by the way, so it's not just the chest and the back working. Exhaling and lowering. Then inhaling up. And then exhale and lower. And take a break here for a couple of breaths. And then we'll slowly press back up. Hands and knees, and we're going to come back into that cat-cow. It's actually called Chakravrakasana. That's a really hard one. So I start in tabletop, and then I take the hands out just a little bit wider than normal. And then I inhale and I move forward and up. And then I bring the abdominals in and I round my back and I press back down into a child's pose. Again, inhaling, leading with the head and the heart. And then exhaling and rounding the back and sitting on the heels. Coming up for a third. Another exhale, and really let go of the head and the neck. Inhale, forward and up for 4. Rounding the back as we exhale and sitting back. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, coming back into child's pose. And one more. Inhaling, forward and up. And exhaling, back into child's pose. Then we're going to inhale forward, come back onto our belly. We're going to take the hands again and bring them next to the ribs one more time. So this next one, we're going to take the legs up this time. And then as we're going to take them wide. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the legs in. And as we inhale, we're going to lift the head and chest, and the legs are wide. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the legs back together, and you're going to look down and allow the head and chest to come back to the floor. So we inhale up and widen the legs. Exhale down, bring the feet together. Inhaling up for 4. Widening the legs, exhaling, lowering the head and the chest. Inhaling up a 5th time, and then exhaling and coming back down. And then one last one, inhaling up, and then exhaling back down. And then here, turn your head to one side. Take a little rest. Maybe just relax your arms too. I don't know if that was feeling intense for you or not. It's a really great way to strengthen all the erector spinae muscles. And then from here, we're actually going to come out to our back again. So if you want, we can just roll over from wherever you are. And we're going to do that flowing bridge again. So with your hands by your sides, you're going to inhale and press the pelvis up, and we'll come back, jump right in with the arms too. So the arms raise up and over above the head. And then as we exhale, the arms come back around and the spine unravels back onto the mat. Inhaling back up. And then exhaling, coming all the way down. And we'll do 6 again. 6 seems to be the right number for this tonight. Inhaling, pressing the pelvis up, using the strength of the legs, and allowing the arms to come up and overhead. And then exhaling, slowly unraveling the spine, and the arms come up and over and back to the mat. Inhaling up and over. And exhaling back around. One more time. I think this is 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not good at counting. I always forget to count. It's my quirk. And we'll come one more time. And then letting the spine slowly start to unravel and make a connection. And then from here, we're going to bring that right leg in. And you can have your hands behind the thigh. So we're going to bring the right leg in as we inhale. And then straighten the leg as you exhale. And if it doesn't straighten, that's okay. I like to say bring it towards straight. And then bring it back in as you inhale. Not for this one. For this one, we're going to be working more with the hamstring. And then towards straight as you exhale. We're going to do 3 on each side. So bringing it in as you inhale. Towards straight as you exhale. And then release. And bring the left leg in, clasp behind the thigh. Engage the foot too, right? So we're going to inhale, bring that thigh in, keeping the foot flexed. And exhaling, bringing it towards straight and bringing that foot towards the ceiling. Inhaling in towards the chest. Exhaling towards straight. Inhaling in towards the chest. And then exhaling towards straight one more time. And then release the left leg. And then we're going to inhale and bring both legs in. Again, keeping those feet engaged. And exhale them towards straight. Inhale into the chest. Exhale towards straight. And one more, inhale into the chest. And exhale towards straight. And then just release both feet back to the mat. The next one is we're going to keep the knees bent and bring the feet to touch. So it's a Supta Baddha Konasana. This is a slightly different version of it. Your hands can just stay on your hips, on your belly. It doesn't matter right now. And then as you inhale, you're just going to lift the knees up just a little bit. So maybe, 5 inches, 6 inches or so. And then exhale and lower them. We'll inhale them again. Again, keeping it kind of low, and then exhale and let them fall back down. One more inhale. And then exhale and lower. The next inhale, we're going to come up a bit higher, so about medium. Inhale. And then exhale. I'd say, I don't know, about a foot off the ground. It just depends. It's hard to give an exact measurement. Inhale again, because your legs are a different length than mine and all of that. So we're doing like a low, medium, and then all the way knees together. So if that gives you an indication. And then exhale all the way back down. And on the next three, we're going to inhale all the way up till the knees touch. And then exhale all the way back down again. And again, I know I keep saying inhale, exhale, but go with your own pace, at your own, with your own breath. Exhaling, releasing the knees. One last time, inhaling with the knees coming all the way together. And then exhaling and the knees coming all the way down. And then bring the legs back up, keeping the feet on the floor. Take the feet out a bit further and also as wide as the mat. And we're going to swing the knees back and forth a few times. This has to be one of my favorite things. This, hugging the knees into the chest and rocking, and Shavasana. I think those are my three favorites. Good. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that one. And then we'll release this one. And then we're going to roll over to one side. And we're going to take our bolster and do a few restoratives. Okay, I lied. Restoratives are my other favorites. Because, oh, it's the best. I love it. So I like to sit on my heels first and then slide off the heels to do this particular one. And I think I've mentioned before, you can play with the heights. I don't know if it makes a difference to you or not. For the side ones, pardon me, I just burped. I don't really, I just turn and I leave it on the floor. So if you like to put a block underneath to get a little bit of height, don't feel like you can't. That's always an option. You can even just do a little bit of height, maybe play with that, see how it feels. And then we turn, so this is a supported twist, right? The hip is up against the bolster. We turn towards it and we just lay down on it. And that's it for this one. You're just going to lay here and use your breath and see how that feels. And allow the body to sink into the mat, into the bolster, and allow gravity to do the work. And the twisting is really good for the back also. We've already talked about that a few times. So that's a given, I think, at this point. Full deep breaths. And after laying here for a couple of minutes, you might notice that your body just starts to sink in a little more. And maybe some of the muscles in the back start to loosen, start to let go, start to rest. Because when we do have, back issues, where there's a lot of holding and protective clenching that some of the back muscles do. Because, like I said, it's a protective measure. And so laying in this way with the bolster and just tuning into the breath it's like a way to give your back permission to let go by letting it know that it is, it's supported and it's okay to relax now, it's okay to rest. So just enjoy the breath and continue with the deep breaths, with the full inhales and exhales, and maybe even elongating the exhalations like we were doing earlier. And just as an aside, while you're enjoying this delicious, restful pose, this is something that you don't have to wait for yoga class to do. You can do this in front of the TV while watching a movie or whatever. I actually keep at home, I keep everything on the floor now in front of the TV, and if I'm going to watch a movie or something, I'm on the floor. I'm not even on the couch anymore. I'm on my bolster. I'm doing supported twists and stuff. It's really, really nice. Just makes everything better. So we're going to get ready to switch sides. I want you to take your time coming up, and you have different options. You can either just turn the body around, or you can move the bolster to the other side. That's up to you. And we're going to give the other side a chance to benefit from this lovely twist. This particular pose is also really good for anxiety too. I'm not sure, I don't remember the technicalities of it, but the first time I did this particular pose was in a restorative class. It was the first restorative class I ever took. And she asked me if I wanted to, if I was more anxious or more low, like more of a depressed state. And I said, probably more anxious. And so she had me do this, and I laid down. And just from the first time, this was a long time ago, so it was way before I got deeper into my practice, but I felt this like bubble of energy come all the way up my spine and just release. It was so palpable, and it never happened again since that day. But that first time is so memorable to me. And I was like, this is like magic. What is this sorcery, And, now look, I'm teaching. Who knew? But yeah, still a favorite, a big favorite. And you can do whatever you want here with the neck. You can keep it to one side. You can turn the head straight. You could even put a blanket under the forehead so that your nose doesn't get squished. And you can turn your head all the way to the other side too. We'll stay here for a few minutes and relax. And the other beauty of these types of poses is it takes a few minutes too, so it really doesn't make sense to just stay in it for a few breaths. It takes time for those, like I said, for the back muscles to start to let go and relax. And they have to know that they feel safe. So just keep your awareness on the breath And also in your back, maybe notice any of the areas that are opening up for you, that are letting go. Maybe you'll notice if there's any resistance or not. We'll take another minute here. And slow. Oh, you already came up. Okay. I was just waiting for you. So show me the thing that you bought. Was it the double one you said? I have the exact one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have that at home. Let me grab a couple tennis balls. We'll do a couple things with it. Whoops. So I don't have mine with me, but here's the substitute, a sock and tennis balls. It's cool, a little solution right there, you know. So the thing is with these is because they're so close together, it's not the best to use in the lower back necessarily. It's better to use above this sacrum area. It's better all along the spine, but once you get down here, you want to be a little bit mindful. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, on the wall, and when I got down to that area, I did like one side at a time.
Ah, okay, yeah. So,
In the middle.
yeah, using it against the wall is a lot safer because you have more control over the pressure, right? And then on the floor, it's a little different. But I mean, I can still see what I can do to show you here.
See how you do.
Okay. So we're gonna, on the floor, we do it the way we do with the block, is you just press up and you place it underneath. You can still do it near the sacrum area, it's fine. You just want to avoid the kidney area, really. And also, if you can get 2 balls, that would be even better because you can place them. When you have 2, you can make them wider and put them under the glute muscles where a lot of tension is held as well. But either way, so let's just say you're on your lower back. You can just find any spot that feels good. Then you can bring in one knee and see how that feels. And if it's not too intense, then you can bring both legs up. And you can just keep the knees bent first. And if that feels safe and okay, maybe take the legs up and maybe, okay. So go slow. Maybe try one. Okay. Well, you have to kind of find a spot that does. I might have more flesh on my butt than you. let me show you where mine is.
You know what? I wasn't far down.
Yeah, let me show you where mine is.
Okay.
Mine is here. So like this is my waist. And this is my butt.
That was too far.
So it's like right above my butt. It's on the bony area. Is that better? Yeah, it looks better. And then if it does still feel okay, you can maybe try moving the legs. Again, it's, something you have to kind of play with. So maybe try widening the knees, bringing them in. Maybe straightening the legs. Maybe moving one leg forward. As long as it feels okay. What we don't want is any pinching or any sharp sensations. That's the stuff we want to watch out for. But even if it's a bit tender and intense, that's still okay. We just, again, yeah, of course. Of course it is. You poor thing. I know, our backs they work so hard. And then with the knees, you can maybe, you know how we did the Apanasana pose, the one where we bring the knees in and then move them out? You can try that and just see if that feels okay and if it feels safe or not. It looks good. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it's intense.
Okay, yeah, it can be, yeah. When you're ready, I'll show you another one that you can do. Again, all of these are great in front of the TV. Now, when you're ready, you bring your legs down and I'll show you. So usually I use one for this, but you can still use the two if you just angle it right, okay?
Yeah.
This one is done sitting up, and it's ridiculously intense. So I'm just going to warn you that, oh, look, this is all covered with red lint now from my socks. Anyway, this goes right about here, so it's not low on the butt, it's high on the butt cheek. It's actually attached to like the lower back, right? And you'll know the spot when you hit it, but you're gonna come on the ball first, right? And there's no pressure on it really yet, but then you're gonna cross your one leg over, and then you're gonna lift up with the arms, and you're gonna move around until you find a tender spot, or just move around and give yourself a bit of a massage. Yeah, I mean, there's not a wrong way. You'll know when you hit that spot and you're like, oh, there it is. There's one. I find this very intense. It's easier now since I've been working on my body for so long, but in the beginning I couldn't even do this. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. Yeah. Yes, they are.
Working out my arms too, because I'm trying not to put all my
I know, we should call it like a tricep workout, really.
Yeah.
And so it's good, you can still do it even with the I call it a peanut, the one that has the two balls together because it looks like a peanut, but
This is kind of what I was doing on the wall too.
it's a little different this way, right?
Oh yeah.
And then eventually, and this is easier with a tennis ball, but like you can start to really turn the hips around and play with the different directions. So if you can manage to get a tennis ball, you can do the 1-1, and play with the different widths. But the peanut is valuable. I don't want to say that it's not, because I love mine. I use it all the time, especially for my upper back.
I've been trying to do the planks. I haven't made it to 90 seconds yet. I've been doing like 60 seconds.
Well, that's a lot, so don't worry about it. Always start low. Let's switch sides. I would recommend starting with 30 seconds. you know, and just see how 30 seconds goes. And then if you're already up to 60, that's pretty amazing. So just stay at 60 if that feels okay.
Well, last you told me, you said try to do 90 seconds.
I should have said start slow. 90 seconds is the amount of time that they used in the study.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that people weren't able to do 90 seconds right off the bat.
Okay.
I'm sure they worked
Feel
up.
better.
Yeah, I'm sure they worked up to it. I'm sorry, it was my mistake. I should have been more specific. Start slow, start slow. Yeah, so you might also notice again, one side, like I'm already noticing my left side is much, much more intense than my right. So that's very informative. Yeah, so you know what's nice about this too is part of this practice is also it's a method of inquiry where we do these things and we're learning more about our muscles, our bodies, our weak spots, our tight spots. You know, these are things we wouldn't have known otherwise. Now that we're doing this, you know I'm going to go home and be doing this again, right? Because I actually haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, part of my, one of my clients is a massage therapist, and so I was getting a massage once a month that I haven't been since COVID, so this definitely helps.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm due. I'm ready for a massage myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, when this is all over, I think massage therapists are going to be very busy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's let go of this side. Do you want to do a plank or you know what? It's almost 9:30. Why don't we do a nice shavasana?
What? We should do it. Let's do it.
You want to do
I
look
just
at
got
you.
tired today.
Look at you, girl. Okay, I'll do it with you.
Okay.
So do you do it, which version do you do? With the straight arm or with the bent arm?
The bend.
Okay.
And the bent leg, too.
And then with the bent knee or with both legs off?
Like that.
Like
Yeah,
that?
like a bend.
Yeah, however you want to do it is fine.
Oh.
I'll do it like this. I'm not keeping time. I'm looking at a clock though, so
Okay.
we can sort of
I was
estimate.
setting my Fitbit or my Alexa, but I'll trust you.
It sounds like I need one of these things, a Fitbit or an Alexa. Allie has an Apple Watch. She loves it.
Yeah. I like the Fitbit because I'm like naturally competitive.
I don't even know what it does.
It just keeps track of all your movement. Like it counts your steps every day,
Okay.
and you just compete with yourself, basically.
All right, I'm going to let go of this side.
Moving a certain amount.
Whew, that's hard.
Yeah.
Do you do both sides?
Well, no, you told me just do one side for my scoliosis.
Okay. I'm going to do a little bit on one side just to even it out.
Okay. I'll go to child's pose.
You can also come into your shavasana, but a child's pose is always good. That's also a very dependable low back stretching pose. So whenever you're ready, you can come into your shavasana, and if you'd like, you can also do a rolled up blanket under the knees if that feels good for you, but otherwise you don't have to. You can just lay right down and we'll start to relax the body. Hey Brody, come to me, dog. I love it.
He rolled over like, you're coming to me, right? Nope, you're coming to me.
Beautiful. And just start to let go now. And you can keep the eyes closed and allow the feet to just fall away from each other naturally. And start to allow your body to sink into the mat. Allow the feet and the calves to feel soft and heavy. Allow the thighs and the hips to feel heavy and feel the sacrum against the mat. And also feeling the spine against the mat and all of the places where you're supported by the mat. And just let the whole back of your body just melt into it. And relax the abdomen. Soften the area around the heart, all of the chest muscles, and soften the shoulders. Relax the neck and the jaw. And release the tongue if it's stuck to the roof of the mouth. And soften the muscles of the face and the scalp, of the cheeks, around the eyes, between the eyes. And slowly we'll start to bring awareness back to the room. Maybe just take a full deep breath first. Wiggle fingers and toes. You can bend the knees before rolling over to one side. Oh no, bye puppy. And we'll come up to sitting. We'll close the practice. I'm so glad to see you every week. This is amazing. I love it. I see you more now. Thank you for coming. And I'm so glad that I can I have something to offer to help. So may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you always be free from suffering. Namaste.